Hey guys, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to start adding some more details in this building code that we've got here. So we're going to add some component details in, which includes our lift, where the lift would be, the toilets, the sinks, disabled toilet, just to start to kind of populate this area and add a bit more detail to it. Again, it goes through the process of adding in components, which can be applied to any part of the model later on. So if you go into component, architecture component. Again, you need to have the components loaded in that I mentioned in the previous tutorial within Revit. Again, on this one itself, it does have some trees and stuff like that already loaded, but we're going to load in our own ones that we want to use. So if you go into load family, and then we're going to go into specialty equipment. So we're going to add in the lift or the symbol for the lift, where the lift would be, and the lift door. So if you go into specialty equipment, just there, and then we go to elevators and lifts. And then we find which one we want. So the one we want is not the glass lift, that's a 3D lift. We want the lift assembly, so that's going to give us the car size of the lift as well as the door into the lift. Click open. And that now should appear in your properties panel as well. Again, within the properties type selector, you've got a number of different types you can use. You can use 8-person, 10-person, 13 wide, 13 deep. One we're going to go with is 13 car deep, I believe. So again, it gives you the symbol of where the lift is, the door is, and the space around it that you need to have for clearance. Okay. Again, different manufacturers will have their different lift assemblies which you can import. This is probably just a generic one that Revit have supplied. So yeah, you can get specific ones that are from manufacturers as well. So once you've found out where you want it, so I'm going to put it in my lift core here. I'm just going to place it. And again, that's done like every other component does. It'll put the door in, it'll cut the walls. So if I go to 3D, and I'll put the symbol in for the lift. Okay, it's not a 3D lift, so don't expect to see the lift in 3D. It's a symbol because of a lift. But you can see here, if I zoom out and zoom in, there's my lift door inserted as well. Okay, so at least I know that there's a lift door space that needs to be made in this area. Okay. The next thing we're going to add is start to add some of the toilets and sinks within the toilet rooms. So if you go into component, again load family, and then toilets will be under WC plumbing, architectural, fixtures, and then we can actually get toilet cubicles initially. So if you go toilet cubicles, you can get different assemblies. Again, we'll just go with what's there just now. You can obviously edit these and make them bespoke to yourselves if you want. And again, we might touch on that later on. But for now, if you just pick a typical assembly, and we will go with that. So we'll go with a typical assembly and click open. Again, you have 6 cubicle. I think this one's spaced for 4 cubicles, so you should get 4 cubicles within this space. There will be a gap, and I'll show you what to do with that gap. But again, just being quick with this just now. If you place it into there, again, you can use a nudge tool if you want, or you can bring this along here to there if you so wish. So you can either line this up through on this side and leave the gap there, and then we can put a wall in there for the plumbing and that, which might do that instead. So once I've done that, I might put a little wall in just to finish that little section off. Again, here I'll click on exterior, pick face, interior, and then I can just flip that around and then tag that into that, and that'll box that off in that space, so at least it finishes flush with that wall. Again, same thing. I'm gonna go into component, and I'm going to go to load family, and I'm going to go back. I'm going to go into toilet, so WC water closets, and then you can pick a toilet. So I'm going to go with one of these ones, one of those ones with a cistern on them. Again, spacebar rotates it, and then you can place them in. You can select them again if you want to move them. Again, use a keyboard to nudge them if you want. Nudge them if you want. Nudge them to center them or wherever you want to put them. Next thing we're going to do is put some sinks in. So again, component, load family, and then I'm going to go back. I'm going to go to sinks. So you will find you can either go with individual sinks, or you can go with the vanity or the counter sinks with it's pretty much wall hung. So I'll go with one of those. You can pick and choose what you want. It doesn't matter at this point. Again, you can pick and choose the size. So I might go with a 1200. These ones do have tabs on them, so if I click on that one, if I can increase the tabs, and then it does give me a bit more. And then there's a part which it's a dynamic tool, so it does give me a third one if it goes above a certain length. So that's fine. And then that is on the wall. Yep. So I'm happy with that. So if you go through the male and the female toilet, again similarly, you can organize the female toilets, the other toilets, similar fashion. I'm going to put a disabled toilet in as well to show you how that works. So again, architecture, component, cancel that. Sorry, load family, and then I'm going to go back to water closets. And then you should see now it's disabled as well. So the disabled one that comes with all the bars and all the requirements for disability requirements for regulations. So click open. It also gives you the activity space as well. So it tells you how big it should be. Again, you have to check the regulations to make sure that that is the best model for that one. But again, more current models or online, you'll find better components ready, updated for current regulations. So again, you can place that in. It's got all this. It's got all the things required for disabled toilet as well as activity space marked out. Again, that starts to build out. So if you go through the different rooms and start adding in toilets and kind of in that room, you can add some sinks and some bits pieces into there if you want from the component library. But have a look at component library and see what other things that there is to add in. We will be using that later on.